So, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss the thermodynamic process for an ideal gas. And in this discussion, I will discuss first the isotopic process, that is the constant pressure process. Second one is the isotonic process, that is the constant volume process. Third process is isothermal process, that is the constant temperature process. And fourth one is the adiabatic process. Okay. So now I will start with the isotopic process. So here, isotopic. And see here it is for ideal gas, so you can write the equation of ideal gas equation is equal to NRT. So in isotopic process, basically the pressure is constant. Pressure is constant. Pressure is constant. If pressure is constant, then we can see volume is proportional to temperature because pressure is constant and mass for a given gas is also constant and gas constant for a given gas is constant. So for a material gas, isotopic process is that in which volume is equal to constant temperature, and we can plot volume versus temperature. Also, we can plot the curve between pressure and volume because this is a common, curve on which we draw all kind of process, that is the pressure and volume. So on the pressure volume axis, the isobaric process can be shown like this. Can be shown like this. Yeah. Pressure is constant. Pressure is constant. Okay. Now the next process is iso Codic process. Isocodic process. Isocodic process. Isocodic process. So in isocodic process, basically volume is constant. So now we can write again P is equal to P. Here P is the pressure, V is the volume, V is the mass, R is the gas mass, T is the temperature. If the volume is constant, then the pressure is proportional to temperature. So here, for an ideal gas, and if the process is isocodic, then pressure will be directly proportional to temperature. And now here volume is constant. Now we will plot the curve between uh, pressure and volume. Then the curve will be like this. Here, here pressure and volume. So if it is isocodic process, then in this process volume is constant. So this process will be like this. The volume is constant. Okay. So this is the basic isocodic process. Now the next process is isothermal process. Isothermal process for an ideal gas. So for an ideal gas, we know P is equal to N. And if in this process temperature is constant, then PV equal to constant. Okay. So here P1 equal to P2 P2 we can write. And the curve will be like this on pressure volume axis. We can plot the curve like this in the hyperbola. This is the constant temperature process for an ideal gas. Now the next process is adiabatic process. Adiabatic again, the process is basically the process in which there is no heat exchange between system and surrounding. Suppose we have a system, here we have a surrounding. Then in this process, there is no heat exchange between system and surrounding. And in adiabatic process, we have three different formula. Later on we will see how explain into existence. First one is the P2 to power gamma equal to proportionality. P1 given for gamma equal to P2 to power gamma. Here gamma is divided by index, and the second one is the P V to power gamma minus 1 equal to constant. That is P2 V2 to power gamma minus 1 equal to P1 V1 to power gamma minus 1, and C P2 by P1 equal to P2 by P1 to power gamma minus 1 by gamma. So these three questions are going to use the adequate process for an ideal gas. Okay, so these are the discussion for the. Thank you.